every second.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, it's time for that their main viewer. We are going to talk about so much great stuff. There is some huge news from the Star Trek universe, the Prodigy specific universe, or would that be a quadrant, I guess, right? Huge news there. We're also going to be talking about the 2023 LLAPy Awards. That's our own version of the Emmys. Bigger and better than the Emmys, some say.
I say it. I agree.
Oh, okay.
I agree too.
I'm more likely to watch the LLAPys than the Emmys.
That's true. All right, I'm with you on that for
same.
sure. We're also going to be talking about, like, there's huge news, an enormous announcement coming from the seventh rule in a matter of hours, and we're going to announce it ahead of time today. Maybe. I
was like, that's not part of the schedule. No,
and there's a whole bunch of other cool Star Trek stuff that we're going to talk about, everybody. But please welcome Melissa Longo, who is here today.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be here.
Nice to have you here.
Lots of people popping in. Dr. Muhammad Noor is also here, wearing a Duke University sweater, by the way.
Yeah, seems appropriate. Always a pleasure to be on the main viewer. I had to think for a second which shows.
Is that a Duke sweater, sweatshirt, or pullover? I never know what's going on.
Say sweatshirt. I mean, it just comes to here and it's long sleeves, but there's no hood.
So sweatshirt?
I guess so.
What's the difference between a sweatshirt and a sweater?
Well, the
knit.
knit.
Sweater's having a zipper, but maybe that's
it's the knit. Like, this is it's made from a different material, which makes it a sweatshirt. But a sweater is you could knit a sweater. You know,
it's definitely not knitted. So
you cannot. You probably can't knit a sweatshirt.
I'm glad you know, Melissa, because I had no idea.
You can prove me wrong if you'd like.
No, I'm glad you know. I trust you.
No, Ryan's looking it up. Are you?
Oh, I see.
No, I don't have the willpower to look things up unless they're nerd related. We just put up a poll today. What do you like best? Sweaters, sweatshirts, pullovers, or hoodies? I think most people are going to pick hoodies. I feel like that's the popular thing nowadays, right? Hoodies. It's like cool.
It isn't the lead right now in the poll.
By the way, everybody, my name is Ryan T. Husk. I'm wearing a Prodigy sweat or pullover or something, but not a hoodie. Not a hoodie. And I've got the sleeves pulled up because it's November 1st in LA, and it's like 80 degrees and it's hot, and it's too hot for a long sleeve thing. However, against all odds, Prodigy is nominated for an Emmy Award, showing the world how radical they are. So I feel like against all odds, I should wear a long sleeve thing. I feel like I can do that. They've earned it.
I don't feel like that. I don't feel like the Prodigy part was against all odds. I think that was like well deserved there. But
I feel like the Emmys and all those things are always, you know.
That's true. Based on biases. Yeah. In
that arena. Yeah,
they're always snubbing our guys. They're always snubbing Star Trek and science fiction stuff, and so it's really tough to break in, you know, like and same thing with the Oscars. It feels like the Oscars are always just a bunch of movies I've never heard of. Every time is that Oscars is the movie one?
Yeah,
every time they have like Oscars, they're like 5 nominations, and I'm like, I think I've heard of that one. And the other 4, I'm like, I didn't even know that existed.
I suspect if Dr. Emery were here, she'd have an opinion on this.
I think she would agree with me. I think what do you think would her opinion would be? Because she's going to go back and watch this and have a strong opinion one way or the other.
Well, I'll see about the Oscar part in particular. I mean, I think she's going to completely agree with this that the Emmys should be recognizing science fiction in general and sci-fi.
Yeah.
But I was the Oscar part where she might be like, "What? No, those are all great movies," or something like that.
What do you think, Melissa? Tiebreaker.
I have no idea.
It will remain a tie.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's jump in to the first news item of the day, and one of the biggest. Oh, but first, let's say hello to everybody. Yay. We have Scott Jensen the 13th. He says, Melissa is right. Only machines can knit a hoodie. And DJ Kitty Cat says they are thick knitwear. Oh my God, I'm already putting myself to sleep. I can't believe I've done this to myself. But there are real answers to this, real legit intelligence answers, it seems. So hello, Scott. Hello, Linda, DJ Kitty Cat, Chris, Gavin, David Gregory, JR Poole, Glenn Iverson, the Jokester, Faith Howell, Wayner is also here, Fran Iverson, hello, hello, and many others. Welcome to the show. All right. So here's the thing that's taken the world by storm. I think today, I think the news came out just today, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that news, let's first go over to a little something called Dan and Hageman's Twitter account.
Also on StarTrek.com.
And Kevin.
Too. Yep. Here it is, Dan and Kevin Hageman. And they tweet out, it's a testament to the heart and hard work of our entire team that Star Trek Prodigy was Emmy nominated for Outstanding Animated Series. We couldn't be prouder and are honored to be included with the other nominees. Hashtag Emmys 2022. Now, can we just say that they're very classy, saying that we're honored to be amongst the other nominees, but we don't have to be classy. We could be like, you're going down, other Emmy nominees. You suck. We don't watch you.
It was interesting.
Never will.
What you were saying
but I don't watch the other ones.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I saw the list and I was like, I've never heard of the others on there. I was like, no, Prodigy very well, but the others I'd never heard of.
Oh, yeah. No.
Had you heard of them, Melissa? They're on Aaron Walke's
right.
tweet. He had the list of
Okay, well, let's pull that up right now so that people will see this. And that is from Aaron Waltke. That's at Good Aaron. Huge congrats to our incredible team on Star Trek Prodigy for their first annual Children's and Family Emmy nomination for Outstanding Animated Series. And the others are City of Ghosts on Netflix, The Cuphead Show, oh dear, on Netflix, The Proud Family, Louder and Prouder, Disney Plus, Star Trek Prodigy, Paramount Plus, A Tale Dark and Grim. Ooh, 2 M's. So maybe it's a Brothers Grimm.
Brothers Grimm. That's what I thought
on Netflix. Too. Wow, Netflix got 3 out of 5. They're going to be really sad to have 3 losers to Prodigy. Am I right?
Well, my wife said she had heard of that third one, the Proud Family. She had at least heard of that franchise, because I was like, I've never heard of any of these things.
Never heard of it, but I was guessing Brothers Grimm as well with the final one, and Netflix should be proud to have 3 nominations. Doesn't mean they're going to have a winner, but
absolutely. And the Proud Family just makes me think of one of my favorite groups in the world, To Proudly Go. We love those guys. Shout out to Proudly Go. Go check them out. So, yeah, I haven't heard of any of those, but it's got to be Brothers Grimm with the 2 M's, right?
Yeah. Well, and really tales. Cool. That sounds like fairy tales.
DuckTales.
That go with Brothers Grimm with 2 M's. I would imagine. I don't know.
A good theory. Makes sense.
Yeah.
All right. So here is the StarTrek.com article on this. Mohammed, do you feel like reading this today?
Sure, I'm happy to.
All right. I don't know if you have it pulled up already.
I don't. Do you want me to pull it up, or do you
yeah, I could send it to you. Here we go.
Oh yeah, I've got it here.
Okay, great. Because I was going to pull up a couple more things while you do that.
Let's see. Give me 1 second. News story, StarTrek.com. Sorry, do you want me just to read it straight off?
Yeah. So here is the article on StarTrek.com. The title is Star Trek Prodigy nominated for first annual Children's and Families Emmys. What were you saying, Melissa?
I was just gonna say, Donnie Pearson in the live chat says Zachary Quinto is in Louder and Prouder.
Oh, cool.
Very cool.
Oh, that is cool.
So I'll read this.
So that's our second choice.
Okay. So it says the National Academy of Television Arts and Sciences announced earlier today the nominations for the first annual Children's and Family Emmy Awards, the first standalone expansion of the Emmy Award competition since 1979. And the Television Academy recognized, Star Trek Prodigy, which is currently airing its first season. The original animated series is up for an Outstanding Animated Series Award. Developed by Emmy Award winners Kevin and Dan Hageman, the CG animated series Star Trek Prodigy is the first Star Trek series aimed at younger audiences and follows a motley crew, not the band, of young aliens who must figure out how to work together while navigating a greater galaxy in search of a better future. These 6 young outcasts know nothing about the ship that they have commandeered, a first in the history of the Star Trek franchise. But over the course of their adventures together, they each will be introduced to Starfleet and the ideals it represents.
Aww.
It's sweet.
Yay! I'm so excited for them.
Cool.
So excited for Prodigy. Well deserved. It's such a fantastic show.
So what that tells us now is that we should close out this poll and start a new one.
Yay.
So the poll question was, what do you like best? Sweaters, sweatshirts, pullovers, hoodies. The winner was hoodies with 44%. 28% said sweatshirts, 16% said sweaters, 12% said pullovers, and some people didn't answer the poll because they were like, I don't know what
I don't know the difference.
I don't understand what's happening here. I don't know who has a preference.
Well, yeah, and it really depends on the hoodie and the sweatshirt and the sweater.
So is the new poll going to be those 5 series and let's see which people are going to vote for?
Yeah, exactly.
It could be a slightly biased audience, but biased correctly, so it's fair. We'll take it.
Yes, biased in the right way.
Which one was the one that had Zachary Quinto?
Loud and Proud.
Got it. Louder and Prouder.
Louder and Prouder.
All right, so we've got a new poll. Who do you think
that's awesome
will win that Emmy? You only have 2 options on this one because we're being stern this time. Option number 1 is Prodigy. Option number 2 is Prodigy. So choose wisely.
It's a neck and neck.
It's a toughie.
Yeah.
I might have to flip a coin.
We also have our good friend, Miss Bonnie Gordon, who plays the voice of the ship's computer, the Protostar, but also just all of the Federation at that time, because she also did the voice of the computer on the relay station. Spoiler to anybody that's now knows that there's a relay station on the show. But she tweets out something also very fun. She says, waking up to this news made my heart happy. Hashtag Star Trek Prodigy is officially an Emmy nominated animated series. Congrats to the whole team. Lots of emojis. So well deserved.
I love those emojis.
Yeah, it really is so well deserved. I mean, I didn't know coming into Prodigy what it was going to be like. And I remember hearing it was going to be a kids show, Star Trek. I'm like, okay, let's see what this is going to be. But like, wow, it's been so great. And the emphasis, I know we've all said this several times before, but it isn't just a kids show. It's a family show. It's the kind of thing that everybody, the whole family can sit down together and enjoy and get it and feel like there's a good story and a good plot. And it still connects to the rest of the Star Trek universe, but it's also a soft entry point for those people who haven't watched all of original series and Next Generation and Deep Space Nine and Voyager and Enterprise. Those things.
Yeah, I do find myself looking forward to watching every episode every week, which is wonderful. It's nice to have that out there and be able to have a show that you look forward to seeing your friends again. You know, I always felt that way about Star Trek as a whole, is when I watch it, I'm seeing friends again. And Prodigy definitely has that feel.
Well said, well said. And we've talked about this before too, but like the engagement of the Hagemans and Aaron Waltke and Bonnie and all the folks with the fans. I mean, Aaron, gosh, like every time I log on, there's people who are asking these random questions. Why did blah 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 happen? Blah 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 way. And I was like, oh, I'll tell you exactly. And perfectly connects it to canon and ideas and stuff. Or he makes a joke if it was something that was a little bit silly. He makes a fun joke with it too. So kudos to all of them.
And it was definitely fun having them in the live chat last week for last week's review, 7th Rule review of Prodigy with Bonnie Gordon again, reprising her guest host appearance.
Well, that's like we should emphasize too that for all the discussions of Prodigy, Bonnie Gordon has been showing up like on screen with Ryan and Sirach for the 7th Rule discussion. So something to look forward to for the next, I guess 9 weeks or so.
Yeah. But
assuming she's going to join us for all 9 weeks. But yeah, we sure hope so. You just never know with scheduling.
No, it's true. It's fair. There might be a week where she misses. Yeah, it's fair.
Yeah, but that's absolutely the plan. By the way, we did close out though the previous one because there was a clear winner. Who do you want to win that Emmy? 70% of you said Prodigy. Only 29% of you said Prodigy. So I know that's 99%, but that's how YouTube does this thing. And we've got a new poll. The question is, how would you describe Prodigy? The options are a children's show, a family show, a show for adults, or a Star Trek cartoon.
I feel like there needs to be an all of the above.
Yep. Jim Westbrook agrees with you, that's for sure. I don't think he's in the live chat, but that is his go-to answer.
All of the above.
Got it.
And if he does a second comment, his second comment is, I still think there should be an all of the above. So he agrees with you very strongly, Mohammed.
Yeah.
Nice.
But you mentioned Bonnie being on the 7th Rule, you guys. Everybody at home, we've been very fortunate to have Bonnie joining us. She joined us for like the first 10 episodes of Prodigy, and now she's joined us for the 11th and hopefully for all of the others. We do have some very special guests coming up on the 7th Rule this coming Thursday. Bonnie will be there, but she won't be the only extra guest that we have. Very, very special guests we've got, and Sirach and I are very happy about that. So everybody look forward to that. We can talk about that way later. Isn't Bonnie radical though?
She's awesome. So cool. And we'll talk about a talent. She's so talented, and watching her show in Vegas this year was a real treat. It was wonderful to see her in her element. She's really at home on stage, and it comes across so well. So it was a treat watching her.
Great singing voice, great with fans, great with interactions, just like, and just a sweet person.
Yeah. Definitely.
Speaking of the 7th Rule and Sirach and myself, so here's a little tease for everybody. We're not going to get into full details yet about the big 7th Rule announcement, but just to warm up to that, just to, work our way towards it. We do have a very special message from our friend Sirach Lofton regarding this 7th Rule announcement. Everybody at home, the 7th Rule is going to make a very big announcement tomorrow. If I sound sarcastic, sorry, that's just the way I talk, but it's going to be a very big announcement.
No, it's so exciting.
Big. Oh, it's going to be huge.
I'll temper some of that sarcasm and say huge. Yay!
But Sirach, our buddy Sirach Lofton, said that he wanted to make kind of an announcement of his own as a prelude to this announcement, so that people kind of have an idea of what it's going to be before it actually happens, kind of give it away. So you don't, that I don't think, I just do. And this is from Sirach. He sent it in a text, so I'm going to be reading from my phone.
Oh, I thought it was a video.
No. It says, "Hey, everybody. This is Sirach Lofton. I played Jake Sisko on Deep Space Nine, the son of the emissary." Good thing he cleared that up. He continues. "My friend Ryan T. Husk is the funniest guy I know."
Oh, yeah, that's what he says.
Funniest in all caps. Oh, that's sweet. "And none of his jokes are dumb." Also, none in all caps.
Okay.
None are dumb.
Oh my gosh.
And then
this is great.
And then it continues. "Sincerely, Sirach Lofton from Deep Space Nine, aka Jake Sisko."
Wow.
Oh, there's a PS here. There's a PS. Also a PS. Also, the Warriors are a better basketball team than the Lakers. Oh, this is.
Yeah, right.
That
sounds
so like him.
That was a sweet little thing to add. What a guy.
So like
we need to fact check this. Okay, if I call him.
I'm gonna send him a. I'm gonna like that text. I'm gonna give it a like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes them way better than the Lakers for sure.
He was just admitting which team was better. I don't,
okay.
What did you think of that, Melissa? Do you feel like he gave away too much about what the announcement was?
It was so telling. I think everybody's going to be able to guess now what the announcement
Hardly even
is.
a guess. Yeah, and this wasn't even a hint. This was a spoiler, basically.
No, hasn't he learned by now? 7th season of Deep Space Nine, and the spoilers.
What is? You guys are gonna be commenting on games there. It's gonna be like, okay, Lakers are up by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think, Muhammad, about that text? It was really, by the way, he also had a few nice emojis. Like there was a kitty cat emoji. There was like the whale with the spout emoji and a sunflower and a smiley face.
I was waiting for the kiss one there on there too. Like
that was implied. That's what the sunflower means to us horticulturists.
Well, and the whole none of his jokes are dumb.
Yeah,
the all caps. That's where the kisses are.
It was very compelling. I mean, I would believe that's Sirach.
I want a second text from him that says, "Chapter 2."
I want that text too. You should read it.
Okay. So everybody in the live chat loved that text from Definitely Sirach. Scott Jensen says, "This is definitely legitimate." Donnie Pearson says Sirach was in Star Trek Deep Space Nine. See, so that's verification.
That's true.
Well, this is true. And he was the son of the emissary.
He was the son of the emissary.
Bob D says this sounds like a hostage letter. Peter C says Sirach is at that Romulan ale again. JR Poole says, "How much did that Sirach message cost?" Hey, I don't like what you're implying here, guys. Matt Boardman says, "Yes, Warriors all the way." Scott Jensen says, "I don't think I will ever be able to take any other text message as seriously as this one ever again."
It's a fair point, Scott.
Yeah, it's up there.
You see Faith Howell's next one? I think Ryan took a good nap and thought today was April 1st instead of November 1st.
No, every day is April 1st when I wake up. That's for real.
Oh, you should. Well, no. So we can ask people in the chat what their best April Fool's joke ever was that they played on somebody.
Oh, that's fun. April Fool's in November.
Well, it is November 1st.
Dude, All Saints Day. What's your favorite saint? I'm just kidding. I don't know.
What?
The only one I know is Nicholas.
Saint Francis, there's more. And now I'm drawing a blank. It's like test time. I know all the answers, but now my brain's gone somewhere else.
I've got the excuse of my name is Mohammed. I don't have to know any of the saints. I'm good. I'm off the
hook. So our last poll just closed out. How would you describe Prodigy? 0% of you said a show for adults. 14% of you said a children's show. 25% of you said you would call it a Star Trek cartoon. And 59% of you said it's a family show. And I sure hope it gets branded as such, because people need to realize it's for all ages, and it's family time. Everybody can come together, even the dog.
Yeah. And there's so many skeptics in the world, judging by this next poll.
Yeah, we'll see. The next poll is, was that a real text from Sirach? The answers are, you only have two, obviously, and the other one is, I'm a little skeptical. So we'll see what people say about that.
I put obviously, because Ryan always tells the truth. Obviously.
Like a Vulcan. Can't lie. At least they always say Vulcans can't lie, but then we see them lie all the time. So
totally.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was a running thing in Star Trek 6 too, where like keeps on saying a lie, and what's her name? The what was the bad Vulcan lady? I forget her name.
Seska? No, sorry.
No, wrong series. That's okay.
And wrong species.
Yeah, that's true too. That's okay. But anyway, she kept on asking Spock as a lie, and he's like, an exaggeration, or he kept on having these other words to kind of not say it was a lie.
Yeah. I don't know why her name popped into my head.
Yeah, that's okay. I can't remember her name now, but I recognize it if it came up.
The live chat will tell us the evil Vulcan of which you are talking. Of whom?
Polaris. Back of the head. Got it. Yeah. That was
John
it. Polaris.
Orchiola.
Yep.
Ooh.
Hey, John.
Hi, John.
John Orchiola, back of the head. That's our buddy.
Yeah.
Here's actually, speaking of John Orchiola, let's do a fun screen rant article written by one John Orchiola.
Imagine that.
Yep. I wish I had that kind of imagination. Luckily, it's right here. Otherwise,
kudos to him for taking on all the Star Trek writing for Screen Rant. That's awesome. We're heading that up.
Right. Totally
really cool.
Yeah.
So here is this article. It's an interesting talking point. He says the title is "Why Star Trek Keeps Changing the Klingons, but not other aliens." The Klingons have been redesigned 3 times in 2 different timelines, but Star Trek hasn't made such major alterations to its other alien species. I haven't read this yet, but what are your theories?
Well, Romulans did change there. Because if you look at Romulans in TOS versus Romulans in later series with the forehead ridges, which I know later got sort of retconned with Picard, where they said, he's I forget what it was, northern or southern, but there was some geographic variation apparently on Romulus. But
northern
they were different.
Big head thing.
Yeah, they were different and without explanation until Picard.
Yeah, although I think he's talking more subtle, because those were more subtle changes than the obvious changes of the continually changing Klingons, because those are drastic changes compared to
what he says is the other races haven't made as many, quote, significant changes, so like maybe less noticeable.
Except for the Trill.
Oh yeah.
Oh, totally, the Trill. Yeah, good point.
Right.
So here we go. Check this out.
Yeah.
So
that too.
After he opens up, he said, "Oh, do they? Very nice." Even though the Klingons have been changed at least twice in the Prime timeline and once in the Kelvin timeline. By the way, I like the way they looked in the Kelvin timeline. Like, they look pretty cool. I was I like the idea of them being like maybe like a different faction of Klingons. They look really cool. The same can't be said for the Vulcans, Romulans, Tellarites, Andorians, or even the Borg. Most of Star Trek's other aliens have maintained their signature looks even after minor tweaks. Vulcans always have pointy ears, and the Romulans do as well, although they generally look like more sinister Vulcans, and the Tellarites and blue-skinned Andorians maintain their readily identifiable traits like snouts and antennae, respectively. However, the Klingons seem to lend themselves to change and even redesign, and each redesign was meant to make the warrior race look more menacing and alien. Okay. It's also interesting that the two biggest redesigns, Star Trek the Motion Picture and Star Trek Discovery, happened during the 23rd century era. It indicates that the most popular Klingon look identified with Worf, Michael Dorn, will remain untouched in the 24th and 25th centuries. Whew. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Yep.
Here's Trill stuff. So it's got an image of Jadzia and Ezri and their spotted look. Woo-hoo. Several alien species in Star Trek have been altered from their first appearance, but not to the degree the Klingons have. The Trills are an example of a race that was totally redesigned for Star Trek Deep Space Nine, and they looked very different from when they debuted in Star Trek The Next Generation. Now, Trills are humanoid with spots that run from their foreheads down their bodies, and the original design has been forgotten. Otherwise, the Cardassians didn't change much. They were merely tweaked to lose their strange headgear. Remember that?
Yeah.
And their TNG look was finalized on DS9. As for the Ferengi, their basic appearance didn't change from TNG to DS9, but their personalities did, thanks to Quark, Armin Shimmerman, good shout out there, and Deep Space Nine exploring the Ferengi culture more thoroughly. Yeah, that's true.
Ramen nog. Woohoo.
That does sound like a delicious place to eat soup. Ramen nog.
Ramen nog. And throw a little Ishka in there and you got a whole meal.
They should totally do this on Star Trek The Cruise Run. Would you like some ramen nog?
Yeah.
Yum, yum.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is cool though. I mean, it's a good point that the Klingons did change a lot more. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously they tried to retcon parts of it, but not other parts. I mean, like the original series Next Generation, they then retconned in Enterprise, but then the Discovery one's like, oh yeah, it's just, I guess could be geographic variation again. I don't know.
Yeah. Matt Boardman says, oh man, I have some behind the scenes stuff for the development of the Klingons for DSC while I was there. Not sure I can share it in public yet.
I'm not sure how long that NDA lasts.
Wow.
I know.
I'm like, really? Still? Wow. That came out in 2017. It's been 5 years and he's still like, yeah, but that was a lot of paperwork. That was a lot of paperwork, bro. It's not worth the risk. Shout out to our good buddy, Mr. Matt Boardman.
Yeah.
Good stuff there. Okay. It's true, though, that the Trill, it seems like the Trill are the only ones other than the Klingons that did like a full-scale change. Like, they look like a completely different alien. And they explained, I think the reason was just makeup, was just like, they said they can't just keep doing all that stuff over again, so they'll just do spots real quick. It was probably Michael Westmore that made that decision, if I remember correctly. I feel like I heard that story.
There was something about, I thought it was something about Terry Farrell, where they looked at her and they said, we have this beautiful person, why are we putting so much stuff on her?
Is that what it was?
That's what I read that too. Yeah.
That's how good my brain works. I remember hearing the story within a couple months, and I already don't know what the story was, but I do remember hearing. I mean, that's probably what it is that, it's kind of like Alara on the Orville.
Yeah.
Remember in the first episode, she had like no eyebrows and they tried to make her look like a weirdo. And then they're like, and like already on the second episode, just letting her have her eyebrows made all the difference in the world. She still looked like an alien, but at least she was expressive. It looked less off-putting and strange, and it just worked better. Good move there after just one episode.
It's kind of amazing what eyebrows can do to a face.
Oh yeah. There's a Seinfeld episode about this. Do you remember?
I don't know this one.
Oh, there's a Seinfeld episode where somebody got his eyebrows like cut off or something like that, but then
George?
No, I don't think it was George. I think it was somebody else, but then they drew these eyebrows like that, and everybody kept on thinking he was mad. He's like, I'm not mad, but he's like, since his eyebrows were like that, he looked really mad.
That seems like a Seinfeld thing. Let me see.
A Seinfeld episode for everything.
Yeah.
Oh, I remember this guy. Okay, so here's the guy. It's not the best.
They're kind of almost Vulcan eyebrows when it was drawn in.
I'm not mad.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They should have that happen with Spock. Like, I'm not mad.
Right.
That guy. Yeah.
I think he played like Jerry's parents' friend,
That's what I was thinking, yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
And then
Leo.
That's this guy. Uncle Leo.
Yeah.
I don't want to be a pirate.
You do that very well.
That was pretty good.
Wow.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. If you're drawing on your eyebrows, you got to know what you're doing. Otherwise, you may be expressing yourself in a way that maybe. Chris Gavin says it was Jerry's uncle. Yeah, Uncle Leo. Good knowledge, guys. Chris Gavin says, "Wouch." That's funny. So let's finish up on this. How about this? What alien in Star Trek would you want them to change the look of? Like, if there's a race that just doesn't work
for
hair.
You.
Kazon hair? I don't know. Aaron rocked that, I think.
Yeah.
He was great with it, but it's still that hair. I don't know what that is.
The Kazon hair is pretty
clunky.
Probably the Screen.
What was that one? I don't remember.
Screen.
Because their skin flaked off everywhere, and that's just gross. They were shedding all over Quark's bar.
How do you spell Screen? I don't remember them.
They were thinking that Bajor was their new home, and they were coming in from the Gamma Quadrant, and it was
early seasons.
Yeah, right? Matriarchal society, and they said a dress in Garrick's shop was hideous.
Yeah, but I can't find them because I can't spell them. I tried typing in screen, and I'm getting it's like, did you mean view screen?
The main view screen.
Let's see.
Yeah. So everybody at home, let us know which alien would you change the look of. Glenn Iverson says Kazon for sure. And what were you saying, Muhammad?
Oh, Scott Jensen was saying the Vulcan bowl haircut.
Oh, yeah.
Although it kind of fits.
It does kind of fit.
BL asked if there's a poll coming. And, I'd love to add a poll. However, we can only do 4 options. And so, like, how would we narrow it down unless we want to do like a 30 alien tournament?
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I think that's a fun challenge. No? Sanctuary.
No. Linda Andrag has a possible spelling for screen.
Oh,
with an A-N. Let's see.
It was in season 2, episode 10, and the episode was called Sanctuary.
But how do we spell screen?
This is a good question. Let's see. Maybe it says in the
we need some hardcore Star Trek nerds to
SKRREEAN.
Oh, 2 R's.
Oh, wouldn't have guessed that one.
Mm-mm.
And 2 E's.
Mm-hmm. Aha. Oh yeah, I remember. There's that. And somebody did mention, yes, Walter Koenig's son was in that episode. Was his name Andrew Koenig, I believe?
Oh.
I believe so.
Let me see.
He should be. Yeah, Andrew.
Was he a Screan?
Yeah,
he was. He was one of.
He
the
was
sons.
Tumac. Here we go.
Yeah.
Here they
and
are.
He got
you guys,
into a brawl with Nog.
Everybody will remember this lady, Hanik.
Oh,
Crispy face. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this was Walter Koenig's son right here, Boner, from Growing
Yeah.
Pains.
Yeah. Their skin is like non-delicious croissants.
Yeah. Yeah. Very croissanty.
Yeah.
Very croissanty.
And that hair flaked off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess we all flake off all the time. I guess they just flake off more. I mean, we flake off all the time too.
I guess it's big chunks because Quark was complaining about their skin being everywhere in the bar, and it was not hygienic. So
yeah. Would you guys? How would you feel, Melissa Longo, if you sat down at a bar and there was just shedded skin all over it?
I would be a little icked out.
Maybe in Korean bars they have something like a little leaf blower. It's called like the skin blower.
Yeah, but you got to aim it right. Otherwise, you're just getting people.
That's true.
They need to have like a skin tray, like we have ashtrays, where they're just kind of like every once in a while, just kind of like flake off into an ashtray, and they pass it around every few minutes. They just kind of.
Or maybe they have like this thing, like when people used to sunbathe, and then have that, and then just have kind of a cone, I guess, a cone around their head to catch it.
The other option is, you know how like, and stay with me on this, you know how like dogs will eat anything, right?
No.
So, you know, like if here's the thing, if you're cooking, you know the dogs are going to hang out in the kitchen because they know that if you drop any food, they're the cleaner, right? Having a dog at home is like the best cleaner. They'll just clean it right up. So they could have maybe vols or something on Deep Space Nine. Some kind of animal that likes the taste of that flaky skin can just walk around like a dust buster, or what are those things? Dirt devil? I don't know. The things.
A Roomba.
Yeah,
the Roomba thing. And it just goes around, just like nibbles up little flakes of skin everywhere and just walks around. People like lift up their legs while it goes under them and stuff.
Sorry, Chris Gavin.
You make it like insects instead of like a dog, like insects all around.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's better though.
I don't know why it is better, but it feels better.
I don't know why Faith cracked me up. She just did one emoji. It was just her one emoji made me laugh. I don't know why, but yeah, oatmeal spattered skin, David Gregory says.
Yum.
Wow, there's a lot of okay, so everybody listening in, everybody in the live chat is loving this. They're saying that they should definitely do this in Star Trek in the comments. Chason says victory is like, by the way, everybody, so go hit the thumbs up button on this video, please, or if you're listening in, give it a 5-star rating. Forget this skin stuff. Just give the 5-star rating.
Although it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
If people have other thoughts on other aliens too, we can still say aliens they want to change the design of.
Yeah, let's definitely change the subject as quickly. Good idea. Let's move on. What other aliens you got for us, Mohammed?
Other ones to change?
I thought you had something that you wanted.
No, I was just saying people in live chat could suggest some others. I didn't come up with some
others. I see. Well, Faith Howell says, friends, you realize we flake like that. We just all do it so we don't notice or care. Go sweep your floor. That's you flaking.
I know. And to me, it seems I prefer it less obvious. The way we
not so visible.
Yeah.
Oh, we do have the insects too. We've got our like follicle mites all over us and stuff.
Oh yeah, I was reading about them. There's little things that live on our face and clean our face of dead skin while we're sleeping. Fascinating.
There you go.
That's exactly the kind of thing that these guys could have.
Those guys,
arthropods.
Like a buffet.
Yeah.
I mean, we could just introduce roaches to where they live.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're down to 3 live viewers. Everybody's like, all right, forget it. You could talk about this for 1 minute, but when you get to minute 4, I'm out of here. Anyway, yeah, I was trying to think of aliens that I would want to change.
I wonder if the
look
brickars shed.
Of the what? Bricker?
Do they shed?
Well, they maybe crumble a bit, right? Because they're the rock people that Rock Talk is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Linda Anderegg says Vidians. Well, we don't really know what the Vidians originally look like, right? We only know what they look like with the phage. Did we? I don't remember.
The doctor got the other doctor, the Vidian doctor, and did the hologram of her, what she looked like without the disease.
Wow. Yeah. Although one of my favorite meme comments is it's got a picture of one of the Vidians, and like if somebody does like a bad post, somebody in the comments will post a picture of Vidian and say that post was so bad it gave me the phage. I think I was like, which is pretty solid.
They're constantly trying to change their look too by adopting different parts from people.
Gosh, that episode where that one guy the Vidian guy was trying to flirt with B'Elanna, and it's like, I'll just steal the face off your friend and put it on me, and somehow you're gonna like it.
Ew.
It was so horrible.
All right, Silence of the Lambs.
Yeah, totally. He was surprised when she was horrified. Like, what do you think?
Yeah.
So Glenn Iverson says, I can think of a few aliens in Star Wars I'd love to change. The blue piano playing elephant was so badly created that you couldn't see it as anything other than a Muppet. Yeah, the guy just like this.
Yeah.
Or no, he says piano.
The piano playing one, not the one. Yeah.
Okay. What was his name? It's not Droopy McCool, is it?
Oh, hi, Aaron characters.
Oh, actually, he's answered the question. The scales drop off and they have smooth stone look to them for the brickars. Thanks, Aaron.
Okay, no, it's this guy.
Congrats, Aaron Waltke, on the nomination.
Yes, Aaron Waltke. Hang on 1 second. Check this out. This is the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Cool fingers though.
Yeah.
Aaron Waltke's in the live chat, you say?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He answered the brickar question too.
Did he? Where is it? Let's see.
It said, BL, in the books, the scales drop off and they have a smoother stone look to them.
Ooh.
Oh. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
Oh, that's about the adult ones. That's not about the shedding question.
Well, and I think Rock Talk shedding would probably be cuter.
It would be funny.
The screen.
It looked like when you're in a brickyard, there's little bits of brick everywhere. It might be like
little rock slide.
Yeah, little pebbles, maybe some sand.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That's really cool. Yeah, and I mean, those adults are cool. We don't want to take them for granted. They're also cool.
Mm-hmm.
That was a rock joke. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, so Aaron Waltke, we've spent almost this whole entire first hour singing the praises of Prodigy and how awesome it is that you got this nomination. Yeah. And we're also proud of you guys because it's so tough to break into the Emmys because the Emmys only want to give awards and nominations to, non-sci-fi things. It seems from this vantage point,
like Forrest Gump or whatever.
Yeah, but I don't think that was it. Is that Emmys? Do Emmys?
That was Oscars. But
oh, you're right. Sorry, wrong. Yeah, sorry.
But stuff like that. I don't know this stuff either. But
yeah,
Star Trek rarely gets ever any love, and so it's really cool that Star Trek Prodigy is going to win an Emmy, because if we say it enough, it's going to happen.
It will win.
Oh yeah,
it's such a great show. It's so good.
So that's really cool. And by the way, Aaron, we also showed off your tweet to the whole world. So just be careful. Every once in a while when you tweet about Star Trek, we show it on the live show. So just be aware. It happens very often. Okay. So, and are we done with the aliens and how we would change them? I think so.
Yeah.
What's your favorite of the Klingon looks? That's a good poll to close that out.
Yes.
Because we've had 4 distinct different types, right?
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite, Mohammed?
Honestly, I really like the Discovery ones. I'm biased on that, but I really like them.
What about you, Melissa?
For me, it's the Worf era Klingons, because I mean, I love Worf and I love Martok and I love Grilka, and there's so many Klingons of that era that I love that I just associate with Klingons. Not that I don't love L'Rell or Cole or any of those, because they're awesome too. But I think Worf era is my favorite.
So like later Worf, not like season 1 TNG Worf.
Correct. He looked really funny.
He did look very funny in the first season of TNG. I was just rewatching after to find the melanoid slime worm thing. I was actually just rewatching that episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I saw Worf, was like, whoa, Worf, dang. He had a bad day or something.
I was like, what did they do to Worf's hair?
Oh, the hair was the funniest part. Worf in the first season, they were trolling him. They're like, how bad do you really want this job? It felt like it was hazing the new guy or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So we do have a poll question for everybody. The question is, what's your favorite Klingon look? You've got the original series, where they're like, those guys are Klingon. How do you know? Well, look, they have goatees. And you also have the TNG DS9 type of look. You have the J.J. Abrams movie look, where they kind of had the shaved head and they had like nose rings in their ridges, which was kind of cool. And you have the Discovery look, which was maybe the most alien looking of all of them.
But both the Discovery and the J.J. Abrams Klingons look very menacing compared to the other Klingons, I think. Definitely the human looking Klingons. But they do look the most alien and the most menacing aliens of the bunch, I think, personally.
I was actually, back in the day when I was like maybe 19 or 20, I was an original series Klingon for Halloween. Ooh. Happy Halloween, everybody. Happy November.
Woo!
And all I did, I just grew out a goatee, and then the day of Halloween, I just shaved, the little middle part under the nose, so it just kind of came out like that, and nobody could guess. I was like, "Look what I am," and they're like, "What are you talking about?" I'm like, "I'm an old school Klingon," and they're like, "You're at work. Go home." I was like a busboy or a waiter or something, working in an Italian restaurant, but I thought it was very clever and easy to do.
Did you do the eyebrows? Because sometimes you need to put the eyebrows on.
Nope. I was in my regular Italian restaurant shirt and tie, and everything was totally normal. I just had a goatee with the middle part of the mustache shaved. That's it.
That's fun.
Oh, yeah, Mohammed, that was the next thing we were going to do, this Brian Fuller thing here.
Yeah.
So this is from our good friends over at IndieWire.com. Boy, oh boy, are we great friends. Jude Dry is the writer, and it is entitled, check this out, everybody. Brian Fuller praises how Star Trek Deep Space Nine paved a gay way for Discovery. Brian Fuller, who wrote for Star Trek Voyager and Deep Space Nine before co-creating Discovery, traces the franchise's LGBTQ history. And look, you can already see a spoon head at the bottom here. You know where they're going with this one. I see a spoon.
It's a good article.
And it is our good friend, Mr. Garrick.
Yay.
It reads, Paramount Plus's ongoing Star Trek Discovery may feature the most out LGBTQ plus characters ever seen in the Star Trek. I think it's by far, right, in the Star Trek universe. But diehard Trekkies know that the groundwork was laid long before them. Premiering in 2017 to critical and fan acclaim, Star Trek Discovery featured out gay actors and original Rent co-stars Anthony Rapp and Wilson Cruz as chief engineer Paul Stamets and his husband Hugh Culber, respectively. Together, they made history as the first out gay couple on any Star Trek franchise, and that's something series co-creator Brian Fuller is very proud of. Quote, that was something that was very important from the outset, is to have explicit representation of queerness, Fuller told IndieWire during a recent interview. So I'm glad that queer people are finally seeing themselves in Star Trek stories in a way that they hadn't before. But I think queer representation in Star Trek really started with Deep Space Nine, more so than any of the other franchises or shows.
You guys remember in What We Left Behind? I think they interviewed Ira about that point specifically, and I remember him saying that he was happy with what they did, but thought they should have gone a lot further in that.
Right.
Yeah, that was the one, if I remember correctly. And you know, Ira and the team at 455 Films do such a great job with the documentaries that, for me, I'm a very visual person, and when I think of that scene, it really worked for me because it was like, you know, women's representation and, you know, people of color representation and all that. And there'd be like a check mark, and then he added a check mark. But then when it came to LGBTQ, he left a question mark. First, it was, I think first he did like a check mark, but then he kind of revisited and said, well, we could have done better with this and that. Let's make it a question mark or something like that. And I love that visual representation, you know, made everything really easy to grasp and very memorable. Yeah, they did kind of open the door, it seems.
They did.
Right? Yeah,
they did.
Especially the episode with Dax with her former partner. That was the closest there, I think.
Yeah. I know
it's very memorable too.
Being somebody of I don't know. I'm not very good with labels, but
identify as such.
Right. Of that kind of persuasion, that was kind of important for me to see as a kid. You know, it's just, I don't know. It kind of helped take the stigma off for me, although, you know, that's a whole bigger conversation, but yeah.
Really? So that actually meant something and affected you way back then, that episode and that scene. Wow.
Yeah. Well, because, you know, I was attracted to men, but I was also attracted to women, and I didn't really understand that very well. And that episode helped.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So I think they did do a good job at opening the door for that type of stuff.
It's really cool to hear.
Yeah, it is. It's really great, you know, because a lot of times people think like you just kind of revisit things as an adult and you say, wow, that was really important. But to actually be able to vouch for it and say, no, as a child, it did actually mean something back then. That's really powerful.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
I was a teenager and going through, you know, teenage stuff and figuring stuff out, and you know, it was still kind of weird to have these things going on, but you know, yeah, that was good.
DJ Kitty Cat in the chat mentions that it also was good in the sense of helping people who are trans with the Curzon, my old friend. I'm Jadzia now.
Yeah,
Jadzia, my old friend.
That's the best line right there. Yeah. So good. And the look on his face, he's just like, she says it, and he's just like, okay, done. Whatever.
Yeah.
Just want to hug.
Similar to Discovery when Adira decided to go by they instead of she. It was similar, like, okay.
It was informative. Yeah. It was just information. They didn't act confused or surprised. They were just like, okay, cool.
Yep.
Noted.
Done.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah. And I liked that the taboo in the Deep Space Nine episode with Jadzia wasn't about sexual orientation. It was more about something other than that, because that part of it felt normal. Like they had normalized that part of it. It was the revisiting of a rejoined or a joined past host that was the taboo. So yeah,
you're absolutely right. There was no comment at all, but now you're a woman and she's a woman. Like nobody said that.
Right.
Like, that wasn't even on the radar as an issue.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Now, our buddy Scott Jensen in the live chat says, I consider A Stitch in Time to be canon because Andrew Robinson wrote it and no one knows Garrick like him. Garrick's queerness is very clear in there. Now, I just want to second that myself because I consider, I don't know if I consider it canon because I'm scared of even using the word because people get into some crazy fights about canon. I don't know if you've noticed, but to me, it's easily by far my favorite of the Star Trek books. I have not read a ton, but I've read enough to have a favorite. And this one is by far my favorite because it's not just a good Star Trek book. It's just a great book. And it's very charming and it's very interesting. And it gives a lot, more depth to the character that we love and some other characters as well. No spoilers, but you learn more about their upbringing and their childhood and all that. It's really fun and interesting. And Andrew Robinson is finally going to be, wasn't that done where he's going to do the audiobook? I think they finally confirmed that
he said he's going to do it.
Finally, 20 years later or whatever it is, 25 years later.
That's great. I can't wait to listen.
Yep.
Do you want to jump to the Deep Space Nine article or do you want to talk about this one some more?
Yeah, okay. Let me see if there's anything. Oh, no, it's pretty much over. Okay. So Deep Space Nine here. What's this article? I haven't seen this one. This is from our good friends at theguardian.com.
Oh, yeah.
It's there.
I think we shared
they are our pals.
I think we shared the same articles, Mohammed.
Yeah, did you? That's awesome.
Yeah. It's interesting stuff.
Yeah.
Let's check it out for a moment here, everybody.
Good timing as we think about what's happening next for the 7th rule, too.
Oh, yeah, we're going to cover that right after this. You just watch.
And can I just say, I think the Guardian are out in Australia because of some of the things that they mentioned. So our friends down under.
I hate to correct you, but the Guardians are in Cleveland. Good knowledge, Mohammed. Thank you. Thank you. It's a baseball joke, everybody. Baseball. Get used to it. The jokes don't get any better than that. But Sirach said that they're very funny.
None of them are dumb, as he said.
None. All caps. Okay. So here is the story. It reads, and it's, fun little picture of them, clearly first season, because Sirach is like 4 years old in this picture.
And that's the old Quark face.
Yeah, look at that. He's like, grr. He's like, I'm going to pull out my whip and zap you.
And I think it's first episode.
Because of Kira's hair.
Oh, yeah.
Or even pre-first episode. Look at even Odo is a mess.
Kira almost looks like what's her name, Scully from the X-Files in that picture.
Oh yes, I love that show, and I love Scully.
Yeah.
So here it goes. It says, wedged between the operatic, trailblazing perfection of Star Trek: The Next Generation and the charming yet wildly inconsistent Star Trek Voyager. Deep Space. Now, hey, whatever. This is the Guardian. This is our friends, but we got to tread lightly with these guys. They're savages. Deep Space Nine was at an immediate disadvantage. Where were all the ships, the voyages, the Jeffries tubes? Damn it. Why would we want to watch a dialogue-heavy drama set on a badly lit space station? But Deep Space Nine is like the Americans in space. Or À le Carré, what the heck is that? Cold War novel set in the dying embers of a horrific occupation. It's about racial tension, religious fundamentalism, and newfound faith. No Oxford comma there. What's up with that comma thing? We could talk about that later. It really bothers me when people don't use that comma. And I don't know why.
I love Oxford commas too.
I feel like it should just be obvious. I'm like, why do we even accept not having that? I feel like it just feels like the right. Anyway, it is hands down one of the smartest things ever to come out of mainstream science fiction. Yes. The Guardian. This is why you are a friend. We forgive the Voyager jab and kind of giggled at it a little. Here's the turbo lift pitch. Good knowledge there. Cardassia, a militaristic race with bumpy heads and few scruples, have ceded occupation of Bajor, a highly spiritual and scrappy planet. Terok Nor, a Cardassian space station floating above the planet. Is it floating or is it orbiting? I don't know. Is renamed Deep Space Nine.
It was originally orbiting the planet, but then they moved it outside of the wormhole.
That's right. That's what that was.
Yeah. Floating above the planet is renamed Deep Space Nine. Bajor wants to avoid being invaded again, so they asked the Federation for membership. Cool. That's good enough. We know. We've seen the show probably. We get it.
Yeah.
I do remember when the show first came out, people were like commenting, like, what is this? Like, we used to be boldly going, now we're boldly staying and things like that. I remember people being very grumpy about it, but
they were grumpy about it.
Yeah, but it was great.
I wasn't.
No, same. I liked it from the very beginning. I thought it was great. And it was nice because it did overlap TNG. So you'd get these different plots, different styles of plots.
Yeah.
I think I started watching Star Trek right after Deep Space Nine already started. So I wasn't part of that. I didn't know, about the reactions. I only remember the reactions when even Voyager, I don't even remember their reaction. I just remember my reaction and my friends, but I do remember the reactions of Enterprise. I do remember like the build up and the lead up, but you were going to say something, Melissa?
Yeah, no, I just remember watching TNG with my sister, but being able to claim Deep Space Nine as my Star Trek because she didn't watch that.
Nice.
And I did. So that was my Star Trek when I was a teenager. So although I did like TNG, but you grow up and then you want something of your own and you like Star Trek, but then, so Deep Space Nine was my Star Trek growing up.
So everybody at home, everybody that's just listening right now is saying, can we just know the answer to the poll? I'm tired of this waiting stuff. So the question was, what's your favorite Klingon look? Original series, TNG, DS9 style, J.J. Abrams, or Discovery? And 0% said original series. Wow, that is harsh. That's probably because the people that loved original series the most don't understand how YouTube works. Just kidding. We love you guys. They're like, how do I'm lit. I can hear them, but I don't know how to answer. Very frustrating. 3% of you said the J.J. Abrams movie look. Wow, only 3%.
That'd be like one person then, cool. Given the numbers.
10% of you said Discovery. One of them was Muhammad. And 86% of you, wow, the overwhelming majority said the Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, the 90s look, 80s and 90s look. I guess there's also some like transitional Klingons too, like Star Trek, later Star Trek movies kind of look, you know what I mean, where they kind of start to evolve, like Kruge or whatever, right? There's kind of like that Star middle ground there. So that was 3 Kruge. And actually our buddy Darnell Davis, who just texted me, was in Star Trek 6 as a Klingon.
Oh, fun.
He was asking about the Star Trek cruise.
What was the name
considering
of that? What was the name of the actor, the guy from Sound of Music, who was in
Christopher Plummer.
Christopher Plummer, yeah.
Oh, that's weird. I was going to guess that. Yeah. Okay.
Captain Von Trapp.
Right. So he looked more like the J.J. Abrams ones, kind of.
A little bit, yeah.
Right. Interesting.
He did look dope.
Matt Boardman says, I am so excited for the Voyager documentary? Well, Matt, you're going to be even more excited when you find out all of the people that we still have yet to interview. This month in November, we are hitting Voyager from all corners, all aspects of everything. And you're going to be hearing from all kinds, Melissa, and you're going to be hearing.
Wait, what?
That sounded like a very suspicious woohoo there.
You're the only one who got that. As far as I didn't catch that woohoo weirdness.
So yeah, but we're going to be, so November is going to be knocking out all the rest of these. I'm sure we'll have more updates for you very soon, and probably have the team on one of these live shows to talk about it. But I think you'll be very pleased with some of these people that we will be interviewing this month. I want to give a hint. How about this? Here's a hint about one of them. At least one of them, but probably several of them have been mentioned on this live show already today.
Ooh.
All right then.
But especially one in particular has been mentioned several times today during this live show. So check that out. And look, J.J. Abrams, everybody.
Oh, no.
Want to tease a little bit more about?
I was just gonna say, did you break out the Ouija board for Christopher Plummer?
Could be old footage.
Oh, this is true.
They planned it out in 2007. They're going to do the Voyager doc.
Yeah.
You got to plan ahead with some of these things. Actually, 455 Films is also working on bringing them some documentaries that had been worked on a few years ago, and then they're kind of reviving it. So things like that will happen, where you start to do a documentary, and sometimes they're 10 years in the making on purpose, and sometimes they just kind of get put away for a little while and then revived. So documentary work is pretty crazy. I'm coming to find out. So
that was my guest, BL. Too.
Oh, Brian Fuller. Maybe.
We'll
tease the seventh rule news. We're almost out of time there.
Yeah. So everybody at home, BL says a real hint. I love that. He's like, this is trash. Quit teasing. Quit fooling. Oh,
Sirach's text was a real hint, right?
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Actually, did everybody get a chance to see the video, the announcement video from the seventh rule? Actually,
that was hilarious.
You should play it.
Okay, but if we get some kind of strike in Afghanistan again, I'm going to be very sad.
But it's you.
But it's the seventh rule, not virtual. I don't know. So here it is, everybody. This was everybody. Do you guys want to see the announcement from the seventh rule? Myself and Sirach Lofton. We'll just imagine they said yes.
I vote yes.
Put a heart on the screen. I don't know if it comes
Muhammad votes yes.
Yep. I do.
Matt Boardman asks, Ryan, have you enjoyed the process between the Deep Space Nine and now the Voyager documentaries? I just want to answer this real quickly. Matt, I have enjoyed this so much, more than any other documentary ever, because I didn't actually work on the Deep Space Nine documentary or any prior ones. I joined the team right after that. So yes, this entire process has been great because it's the only process that I know. And when the Voyager documentary team, 455 Films, when they wanted me on board on part of their team, having seen the Deep Space Nine documentary, I couldn't say yes fast enough because I thought the Deep Space Nine documentary was like the best thing I've ever freaking seen. And I loved every second of it. So I'm like, how many different languages can I say yes in? Okay. So,
and they're very lucky to have you.
Totally.
Thank you. I agree with that. No, I'm just kidding, but thank you.
They are very lucky.
Now, great team, loving every second of it. Okay, so this is the official announcement from the seventh rule, or at least, well, you'll see. This was released yesterday morning. Oh, wait. I got to do it the other way. Here we go. Hang on, everybody. Here it comes. Here it comes. This was like 3 minutes after I made fun of original series fans for not knowing how to use YouTube, right? But here I am spending like 3 minutes just to figure this whole thing out. All right. So here it is. Sirach, myself. And here we go.
Hello, hello. I'm Sirach Lofton, aka Jake Sisko from Star Trek Deep Space Nine.
My name is Ryan T. Husk, and together we do a show called The Seventh Rule, in which we review all Deep Space Nine episodes as well as all new Star Trek series.
And it's been an awesome ride watching this show, but unfortunately, as many of you know, we're coming to the end of the series.
It's been a long road, right, Sirach? So we've enjoyed a lot of Deep Space Nine episodes. They've been amazing. Actually, oh, I am so sorry.
I love that. It's so funny. That is amazing.
Darn. That's the end of the video, isn't it? Announcement 11/2/22. Well, that's tomorrow.
Yes.
But I will say, here's a hint while everybody throws tomatoes at us. The announcement is actually happening tomorrow morning. It's probably going to be first thing you see in the morning when you roll out of bed, or even if you don't roll out of bed, if you're one of those people that checks your phone before you even come out of bed.
Which time zone? They're
all of them.
Okay.
Kind of all of them. That's impossible for all of them.
Yeah.
But quite a
people
few.
in Japan are already up. They're like, I'm here.
Yeah, quite a few of them. Yeah. But I will say that there was at least one very powerful hint in that video. One very powerful hint in that video. So
The word actually.
Oh, wait, let's end this poll. Anyway, so yeah, it'll be tomorrow morning. And this is something that Sirach and I have been really talking about for years, it feels like. And for me personally, I've been dreading ever since like the second or third season of Deep Space Nine. I've been dreading when it's going to be over. And after this week, we'll only have 2 episodes left to record. And so we're very sad. And by we, I don't know how sad Sirach is, but I'm very sad. I think he's going to be sad.
Bring the Kleenex.
Yeah. Faith Howell says that Quark scream just came out of me. Pure evil, Ryan. You're assuming that was I didn't edit that. That was Melissa.
It's been a long road.
I love that reference in there. And that Sirach got it. I love that.
Actually, I think and I could be wrong, but I think when we were recording this, the first take, Sirach said it's been a long road, actually, but then he didn't say it when we did the second take, and that's why I tossed it at him, because he didn't say it. So I was like, hey, it's been a long road, right? So, so I don't want to steal his thunder, but I believe he was actually the one that said it. And then in the second take, since he did not say it, I threw it at him.
Got it.
So anyway, everybody in the live chat, let us know tomorrow morning when you get notified that the 7th rule has some kind of announcement. Will you read the announcement or click on the thing? That should be a poll. That should be our last poll of the day. While Muhammad buys us a little bit of time by telling us what this show is even about.
Oh my God, that's a great quote. I can't do the trivia though. That'll be at least something to give you a couple minutes. So I have a TOS trivia question for you guys today.
Oy vey.
Excellent. Excellent. Perfectly timed.
Everybody remember, well, I shouldn't say everybody. A lot of you remember the original series episode Miri. Who was the only kid besides Miri whose name we heard in that episode? So I'll say it again. The TOS episode Miri. who was the only kid, you have to say his name, besides Mary, whose name we actually heard? I'll give you 6 choices.
Hang on. Hang on. I just got to say, Isabella. It's not that, no.
Isabella's not one.
But when you say the name, I'm like, that one is like forever forged in my head. Is that kid going, Isabella? I'm like, oh God, I never want to see that episode.
Heidi.
Well, see, nobody's already typed it in the chat yet, so that's a good sign that it wasn't a too easy one. It's too easy when people are already typing in the answers.
Yeah, right. Totally. Which happened to us last time.
It did happen last time too. All right. The 6 choices are Charles, John, Mark, Mike, Paul, or Pete. I'll read them again. John, Mark, Mike, Paul, or Pete.
I'm going to go with Glenn Iverson's answer because he looks like he's got a good spelling too. So.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too.
Spelling.
Good spelling. John. And everybody in the live chat, I know you guys already did this, but after you've answered this trivia question, while we are reading off what's going on this week, just tell us what you think the announcement will be. Yeah. What do you think the 7th rule announcement is going to be? And what's great about this is just in a few hours, you'll be able to verify if you are right or if you are not right. Great. Good poll question. Will you check out the 7th rules announcement tomorrow? Yes or no? It's not really neck and neck. So far, everybody's saying yes. Very nice people. Okay, so here is what we're looking forward to this week. Aaron Walke says Clint Howard was his name. And
I like
Clint
that.
Howard was his name. Oh, okay. So let's see. Yesterday on the 7th Rule YouTube channel, everybody go check that out because what was it? Where are we anymore? What's today? Oh, that's right. I remember now. Okay. So we released the full entire review and discussion of Deep Space Nine, Season 7, Episode 17, Penumbra.
Oh, Penumbra.
So, Penumbra. So check that out. That is fully completed and available. You can watch the entire thing on the 7th Rule channel. Mm-hmm. Also, tomorrow, that is Wednesday. First of all, we've got a big announcement on the 7th Rule. Or is it big? Is it just like a giant troll? Like all of these, like that fake announcement thing that we just did on YouTube on the 7th? Is it just going to be something like, hey, we're done with Deep Space Nine. Thanks, everybody. And you guys are like, yeah, well, we know.
And then it's a big middle finger from Aaron.
That's intense.
That'd be great.
From Aaron.
So that's first. That's on Wednesday. The middle finger game, forever loved, but never emulated. And then at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, that is this Wednesday, that's tomorrow, we will be releasing that's the Falling Tower. When I say we, by the way, on the Falling Tower channel, it's, of course, 80s sitcom month. And tomorrow, Wednesday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, we've got Married with Children, because that is an 80s show, started in 87, with actress Lila Shacker.
Yep.
So check that out. Muhammad is special guest co-host, of course. So I was outnumbered by Egyptians 2-1 on that episode. Very cool.
That's awesome.
It's a first. We've been trying to get these two together forever. Love Lila and Muhammad.
That's so cool.
And then Thursday on the 7th Rule channel at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern time, of course, Miss Bonnie Gordon will be joining us for that review of Star Trek Prodigy, episode 12. We also will be joined by a couple more very special guests, surprise guests. So stay tuned. Check that out. That is Thursday at 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern. Yes, Muhammad Noor.
Is this the Borg one?
Borg one.
Borg 1 of 9.
The Borg Prodigy episode.
The Borg episode.
Is it? Yes. I don't know.
It is.
I think that's what they announced already. I think that's what they said.
Yeah. That was one of the articles I included in my
that we didn't get to. We'll get to it tomorrow, you guys.
Email. That's okay.
And then on Friday, right here on this channel, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, of course, it is our live show entitled Star Trek and Chill. It's super chill. And you guys are thinking this episode was pretty chill too. It's even more chill. Like, we don't even really talk about anything. It's like Star Trek and like macaroni and cheese. Yeah.
And chocolate. And
we'll talk about
licorice.
What's your favorite cheese to put in macaroni and cheese.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
That's some good stuff.
I need to try some Gouda. I need to try the Gouda mac and cheese.
And then lastly, on Sunday at Deep Space 9 a.m. Pacific, that's Deep Space noon Eastern time on Sunday, the Seventh Rule will release our first segment. It's the first big, giant, fun segment. It's Deep Space Nine, Season 7, Episode 22, Tacking into the Wind, with a very special guest, Kitty Swink.
Yay!
Everybody knows and loves her. Right now, everybody's thinking, oh, wait, she played the Vorta, right? Yep, you got it. You nailed it. She'll be joining us. It'll be a great time, so check that out. All right.
And Matt Borkman says Trek and cheese.
Get down with that. Everybody has your favorite cheese.
My Life from Tokyo is in the chat saying it's Wednesday morning and haven't seen the They didn't say that part. I'm just
I was like, you guys are lying to me. I woke up, I checked my inbox, I checked all social media, and there was nothing.
Yeah.
And so Mai's the one person that said nah in the poll. There's one person that said no. Will you check out? Nope. So what's the answer to our trivia question, Mohammed?
So Glenn Iverson was correct. It is John, and it's spelled
Nice.
Jahn. And an interesting side note on that one. So this was played by Michael J. Pollard. I don't know if you can see the picture.
Dr. Pollard's dad?
There you go. Yeah, you can see his picture
What?
there. So
I remember that.
is that
I've seen him before.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the other interesting thing is that the Michael J. Pollard might remind you of Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox said because of Michael J. Pollard, he started using the J as part of his
that's
name.
cool.
Wow.
So direct impact on the famous Michael J. Fox too.
That is really cool. That's like
Who
our
is
good buddy
he?
Neil
Awesome.
Patrick Stevens. He was always just like Neil Stevens. And but it's a little different. It was because I kind of suggested, I don't know if this was the reason he fully did it, but I was like, on IMDb there are like 40 Neil Stevens, but Neil Patrick Stevens, you're the guy, but also it makes you sound like Neil Patrick Harris, everybody's favorite guy. So
that's right.
Doogie Howser.
Rad.
Doogie Howser indeed.
Pretty rad. Sorry, Mai, you'll get it soon.
Right. That Broadway dude.
All right. So that's it for us. Melissa Longo, can you tell everybody what you'd like to promote or where they can find you online or your home address?
I am going to abstain from sharing my home address. But you can find me online at Melissa with an A, Malissa, Longo, Longo. That's what we used to sing when we were kids.
Was her name?
Yeah. On the social media. And then at Introverted Republic, walking art made by Melissa is now there with shirts similar to this one, a la Guinan, and other stuff. Yay. And there's a 7th Rule announcement tomorrow.
Oh, shoot. That's true. We should have mentioned that. Everybody's like, enough, bro. Linda Anderegg says Asiago for mac and cheese. That's an interesting choice. I'm not sure if I'm with you on that one. I do like Asiago, but
me too.
And David Gregory says Michael J. Pollard had a very distinctive chin, if I remember correctly. Glenn Iverson says, I like Michael J. Pollard in Scrooged too. He looked exactly the same as he did in Mary. And One Trek fan says Michael J. Fox is from the city next to me, Burnaby.
Oh.
What have you got for us, Mohammed? Where can people find y'all?
Sure, I'm on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Mofnoor, M like Michael, A, F like Frank, N like November, OOR, or on YouTube as BioTrekkie, BIOTREKKIE.
One Trek fan, pretty clever. She says, I got to run to choir all. I'll be singing the praises of Chat Pack.
Yay!
Like you too, Lisa.
Yeah, nice pun there. I liked it. Works.
And you, Ryan T. Husk?
Aaron Waltke, if you're still listening, check it out. I'm wearing my Prodigy sweatshirt in honor of Prodigy getting that Emmy nod for the nomination. And you might be saying, why are you wearing a sweatshirt when it's so hot? I did it for you guys. I would not be wearing this on a hot day, but I'm only doing it because Prodigy deserves it. You guys worked so hard to give us something so awesome. Okay, y'all can find me on Twitter, Ryan TG Husk. That's at Ryan TG Husk, or just Falling Tower, the Seventh Rule, or Virtual TrekCon on Twitter, Facebook, maybe Instagram, I guess, and especially YouTube. Thank you all very much for playing with us. This has been The Main Viewer, and Sirach thank you to Sirach for that very nice message.
And all of the caps.
You guys remember that if you're looking for very true, not at all made up text from Star Trek celebrities, put it on The Main Viewer. And it's true.